ridiculous. It's going to be a really hard one as we jump into the first pick and ban of the split. It's Los Ratones coming back versus Bulldogs. This is the MSI patch, by the way, so keep in mind we are aware what to expect as Cyan and Rumble are removed from the equation.
Yeah, I wonder how much MSI influence there's going to be in terms of things like the Callista, the Renata, and the Twisted Fate.
Yeah.
Obviously, very, very infamous for their almost inability to win a game because, of course, Carrier did manage to pull out one final win in their series versus Gen G. But so far, a lot of the typical bans that we get off of this 15.13 patch remains around the same, though, of course, there is that targeting of the Jarvan and the Scion. Mind you, again, this is a best of one. So a lot of the OP picks staying up, right? Gragas gone 2 target away from Baus, so Vi, Talia, you know, so many of these priority junglers in particular up and available for LR if they want them.
Yeah, wow. I mean they go for the Syndra instead. Nemesis has gotten a lot of praise for it. I understand why you'd lock it in, but a lot of power has been left open by the target ban so far against the Cyan and Gragas there for Baus. So Bulldog now to respond. I mean, obviously you'd like to match in the mid lane, so you just match it with Control Mage early on. I think Orianna's a bold slam. Agency though in the 2v2. I do kind of like this actually with the Wukong. Needs to be careful not to fall behind early. You'll be a bit useless, but you know, you're a big walking stat stick, and I do think that it's a strong 2v2 you've got.
Yeah, I mean, with the Wukong though, what's pretty nice about it is it doesn't necessarily have a bad jungle matchup out of the S tiers, right? There are definitely a few which go, you know, maybe slightly more in his favor or slightly away from it. But things like Xin Zhao matches up fine, right? They both fulfill the role that they want to, which is diving in, causing disruption, and really trying to make the lives of these backline carries a major nuisance. Blind Cho'Gath now coming through from Baus, and like we mentioned that Xin Zhao already. I wonder if Hesera is going to go towards something a little bit more lane dominant, something like the Aatrox, for example, which does fit okay into this composition, or if it's going to be something a little bit more, you know, kind of lane dominant. Hovering over the Gwen right now, which left up, right? These weren't these traditional bans that we were expecting to see.
Okay, I would have liked to see the Gwen. I think it's the best choice you've got here, right? Hesero, what I remember him for his 2 years, or 2 splits rather, in the NLC, is these carry champions where he really likes to get agency, getting the counter matchup already here. So a lot of counter picks being given over to Bulldog here, as we've locked the whole top side. Nothing yet for the bot lane, so obviously we'll expect to trim that out here, as she'll try and ban out some of these S-tier AD carries. I think maybe Varus could be one of those who go. Crownie's Jhin, of course, could also be on the block. We'll see what the decision is here for Bulldog. Support pool as well. A lot of strong support still available. Ezreal though the first ban.
Yeah, I think one thing that I've always been quite openly critical of is Reckless's champion pool in general. Not going to be targeted here for the time being by Bulldog, and I think this is a very smart rail ban. When you have Wukong and Orianna, what do you need? You need more setup immediately, right? Something like the Jhin might also be a bit of a higher priority for Dream, even though it's not necessarily something that we're anticipating. For the composition, it looks pretty damn good here. And of course, it does enable Kasing to potentially get a counter pick on 5. For now, though, still aiming, I would imagine, for another AD out of Crownie's pool. It will be Lucian, so not trying to get dominated early on in lane with a Lucian pairing. And LR now, again, I expect another setup support to bite the dust. It is really just dependent on what they want away and out of Kasing's hands.
So maybe there's the Leona that Kasing really enjoys to play, or even the Alistar that could be taken away from Reckless, even though he can fall back into his own Rakan, which he's happy to do so. Let's see what Los Ratones are going to take away last before the pick. It's going to be the Nautilus. So the cow is alive, and just as you predict, okay.
I mean, it's one or the other, or both.
Well,
yeah. It's very easy to see, you know, Jhin get locked in and then Crownie goes Varus, or Dream goes Varus and then Crownie goes the Jhin, right? I would say with this kind of composition, the Jhin does make things like the Orianna feel a little bit more vulnerable, just because of the Deadly Flourish and, of course, the ultimate as well. So I like that Dream does pick this one up. It does leave, however, not only that Varus up, something like the Corki as well, a little bit more lane dominant, a little bit more burst heavy, and a champion out of the AD pool that technically could build a bunch of HP, right? We've seen some of the, you know, the Bloodmail, Black Cleaver, Shojin build show up on that champion from time to time. It does make you very hard to kill. We'll see where LR decide to go though, because Zeri's been hovered for a little while, and if it does get locked in, the expectation would be an immediate Lulu slam. It would, however, give Kasing the opportunity to, you know, still find something that like that Leona to just round out the composition really nicely for Bulldog.
Yeah. I mean, this obviously does lay up for the Enchanter support, right, with this area, but we'll see what direction they decide to go in. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much available still. The support pool hasn't been trimmed much outside of the 2 primary engaged support, so Reckless, a lot to choose from. This Rakan could work as well. Yeah, he decides to go for it. It's just a safe fallback. It might not be the best option on paper, but he does feel so confident on it. I think he does put in some good performances as well. For Kasing now, though, what would you like to pair it up with in terms of strong support left? That's the question. I would prefer an engage here, but maybe that's just me. Jhin could work with both things, right, to round out the composition.
Oh. Okay, now this was toyed with, so I'm going to talk about the hover for a second, because it's probably not going to be it. But when Twisted Fate was buffed, supports in the LEC were scrimming Twisted Fate support. So don't take that as a bait hover. That might randomly show up at one particular time. We do end up getting the Alistar, though. We see it handshaken a lot. Both level 1s are super weak. They kind of become champions at level 2, especially Alistar in level 3. All of their abilities are there. But the composition is rounded out, and Bulldog, very, very team fight focused, right? A lot of setup between the Jhin and between the Wukong Orianna, with a little bit of side lane from Gwen, whilst LR, a lot of comfort, top to bottom, really. So we'll see where they decide to go, whether it's fighting through the mid 2v2, or whether it's trying to open up the map through mid, yes, but not explicitly 2v2, and trying to give some freedom down to Crownie.
But it looks like if Los Ratones are able to control the tempo of the game, they should be comfortable also with the champions they have. You think this is where the game is going to be routed to? Or is Bulldog capable of bringing it out of nowhere?
I really like what Bulldog has.
Yeah.
I like what Bulldogs have done here. I actually genuinely do like that draft. I think they've gotten some good picks here for their young rookies as well. But Los Ratones on their comfort, they are just too strong. I mean, even if I think Bulldog won the draft, I think Los Ratones win the game.
Okay, it's the first game of the split. Los Ratones versus the new team from Bulldog. Will they be able to bite, or will the Reds conquer yet again? To toss it to the casters, it's Hiprain and the return of Aragon. How you doing?
Aragon, how you doing?
It's lovely to be back. You know, it's been a hot minute, hasn't it? How long has it been?
I mean,
over a year.
It's been a week for us, really, but NLC,
Okay, sure.
It's been over a year, yeah. We did do a little tournament for NLC on last week, but that gives us a little chance to have been warmed up for today's games, and we're opening on a banger as well. Bulldog taking on Los Ratones, who have been on a bit of a spree this year so far. Bulldog reforming and kind of changing some of their players around. I have to admit, though, I genuinely quite like Bulldog's comp, and I think if we turn the nameplates off, I'd be feeling a little bit more confident about them right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard when you look at Los Ratones' comps, because they have such funky comforts, right? Syndra Prior, when Talia's open, you know, I know they don't like Talia, but then you have the Cho'Gath as a blind pick, and giving up a Gwen, I feel like might have been a mistake. I do think that Gwen is sometimes Los Ratones' kryptonite, so that is a bit of a pain point for me. But yeah, I mean, it looks like they set up the top side, rather, to do pretty well on the side of Bulldog.
Yeah, I think they really did. Gonna be excited to see how they kind of match up versus Baus, because Baus is one of those players who it feels like you have to talk about it with him, but when he goes down, it's about the cost versus the reward, really. Like, Baus doesn't really give much up for dying, which sounds like a bit of a weird sentence when you're talking about League of Legends and kind of play styles, but his team are very good at capitalizing on what he sets up and enables for them. Now, let's talk a little bit about this bot lane here, because Dream being our rookie player alongside Kasing, how are we liking this matchup? The Jhin Alistar versus the Zeri Rakan.
Yeah, it looks like they've gone from a more supportive AD character to facilitate the carries of Bulldog on the top side of the map. You have the supportive Jhin, and then I imagine what's going to happen is Zeri and Rakan are going to get prio into the Jhin and the Alistar early on, because they are a double range lane into the Alistar level 1. But that lane should be fairly neutral. It shouldn't be too important in the early game. The rest of the map is what's going to matter a little bit more, in my opinion. I'd probably keep my eyes on the Syndra lane and the top lane as well, in case Bowsy gets solo killed or something in the Kryptonite matchup, as well as having Syndra set up for ganks versus the immobile control mage.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's going to kind of be about what we're going to see from our junglers here. You can see Artanis is going to be clearing downwards, so may look for something on that bottom side, where Velia is clearing upwards right now. It's going to be a little bit slow on it, just because, you know, red to Krugs to Raptors. We'll see if they look for any like level 3 ganks somewhere, maybe towards the mid lane. Both of them currently just started their Raptors off. Artanis has been seen, though, so Nemesis is going to be aware that this is going on. It's painful. Nice little ward here coming in from him.
Still the mini ones?
Playing down.
Ooh.
He does steal the mini ones. Now, Painful was a player we casted last week, right?
Yeah. No.
On Oriana, and me and you were like, this guy really impressed us during the Nexus showdown last week.
You're misremembering. I don't remember.
Is it someone
Painful.
else?
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I think. All right,
I need
go
to
to
check
bed.
now. I swear
it
Painful
wasn't
was
him.
one of the players we got excited
But
about.
I do remember Painful back when I cast in the NLC in the past. I do remember Painful being a decent control mage player. I don't think though, like you were saying, I don't think there'll be anything going on too much in the early game. Wukong generally wants a stable game. I say that, and Baus looks like he might just get snipped to death.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be doing too well off the back of this one. A couple more of the snips. The flash forward flash from Baus does nothing. First blood to Hezero.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Gwen is one of the most broken champions in the game at the moment. And giving Gwen a lead versus double melee topside, it's a little bit spooky. I don't think this champion is very fair. So I hope they can manage the lead that Baus is going to give He's Zero. He's Zero, a really good carry player. Playing against him bunch in solo queue, and I'm always really impressed. He's quite the Aatrox Ambessa kind of player, you know? Super meta, abuses Yorick and Shen as well. Yeah, it's painful to play against.
Yeah, it really is. Well, right now, Velia is maybe thinking about making an appearance in the top side, but unfortunately not going to be the case. He's going to look to back off this one.
Yeah, Baus TP's back, doesn't lose too much, gets to farm the most of the wave, and I imagine what he's going to do here is hold the freeze. It looks like Gwen's going to TP to top side, and the recall from Velia's gone through, so there's no chance of a regank on that TP. He's going to be safe and sound, and I imagine both junglers are going to go back to full clearing, top to bottom, bot to top, because generally, you know, I feel like the onus is on LR to find something in the early game here. Artanis doesn't really want to find anything. On Wukong, you want a kind of stable game. Get to level 6, get your ultimate, and then skirmish, because you don't really offer that much until then. And that's exactly what they're going to do. So Artanis is going to clear down to bot side, and it's going to be relatively chill. Baus is kind of suffering. I'm not going to lie. He's going to recall here and have to TP back. I guess he's doing fine. He'll TP back. He won't miss too much. But then any other chunk after that might be painful.
I mean, he is having a rough go of it. I mean, he's okay on the farm front right now.
He's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Keeping up, but, you know, having to burn that teleport just to get back to lane now, you know, it's not particularly an ideal base for him. He's just got himself... He come back and immediately loses most of his HP. Nice knock up onto his Hero. Does have the Hail of Blade, so maybe with the silences, Baus! Oh! His Zero survives. Baus almost gets himself the solo kill.
Yeah,
okay.
The Hail of Blades, it catches you off guard sometimes with the E. There's a lot of damage. Cho'Gath has one of the highest base ADs early on, and then combined with the Hail of Blades and the E damage, it's just mental. Oh no, his recall gets cancelled. Now, he's got to call up Velia here. I think if he calls up Velia here, this is a free dive, and you can see Xin Zhao's already on the way top, so Baus, if he just crashes this wave and He's Zero doesn't respect it, could be painful. Be rough.
Let's hit the 6 here for his Zero. No flash. Remember, both those top laners used it, so he's just going to immediately in Baus. But Baus finds him with the silence
there it is.
And the solo kill. He knew the gank was coming, so he went all in on him.
Yeah, exactly. He knew that he could be dove here, He's Zero, so he burger flipped an all in to see if he can maybe win before the dive came through. Backfires, though. Bausy finds the solo kill, and is a really nice play.
Really, really nice. Now, Artanis is going to quickly cross-map, take the dragon away, play a bit of a denial game and start that stack early. Does get spotted by Crowley's W, though, so they are aware that this is going on, but realistically, I don't think there's really much Lost Ratones can do, although I say that, they've got pressure bot side, so they are thinking about coming in for the collapse. Painful's made his way over as well. Singh tries to go for the headbutt pole. They are able to escape away. Velia falling off the flank. Same with Nemesis. This is a pretty bad sandwich here for Bulldog. Forcing Painful to flash away. And Lost Ratones, they get a play topside and they still get the dragon. No loss for them across the map.
Yeah. Crowny and Reckless had priority, so they just came in collapse, and specifically the laser from Crowny off of the wall really chunked the Wukong, so he had to back off. Artanis could not finish off the dragon there, and Dream wasn't quite level 6, so he couldn't really take part in the fight from a long way away. And yeah, in the end, that's a flash from Painful, and a potential regank as well with a Syndra stun.
Oh, really nice there. It does mean that you have that gank opportunity. See if they go for it. Although Painful may just play underneath his tower. You're on the Oriana. You can just sit and catch waves. Kind of the game plan on that champ. Baus now definitely taking over the lane. We were talking about how this was starting to be a bit of a rough lane for him. goes back, gets the Synaptic Soul, so he's going to be looking to move around the map as much as possible. And he's quite happy, got a farm lead. Pretty significant one at this point over Hizero. 20 farm up.
Interesting. Okay, so he places a ward on the Krugs, spots out the Wukong, so he knows he can no longer proxy, but now he knows that the Wukong's probably going to full clear to bot side. And I imagine what he's thinking now is, yeah, let's clear this. I'm going to proxy potentially the next wave or the wave after that, and I know Wukong won't be on the side of the map that I'm on. And I'll be able to find a way to find a recall with a cheeky amount of tempo. So we'll see what he does. We'll keep an eye on him as he has info, although he is now getting all in.
They're going for it. Baus actually just clears off the wave. Hizero's got the damage. There's the knock-up from Baus. He's got flash in a few seconds. Hizero cannot run him down. Baus able to escape the play. Beautiful little outplay and escape there from him. And you can now see, it's partly on your minimap. We will be fixing this in a moment. Reckless is making his way up. I assume Crowny is probably in that Black Void right now. They are swapping to get themselves grub pressure. And Los Ratones very quick at just securing themselves these two jungle objectives nice and fast off the bat.
Yeah, he's zeroed down an ulti and forced to recall. The same with Baus. Velia, they know that Wukong's going to full clear the bot side. Baus's ward helps with that, so you get the free grubs on the screen. Take a look at the all-in down on the bot side, though. I mean, Baus, how does he always do it? How does he land the knock-up and always get away every single time? It's just always so entertaining to watch. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you've been probably watching this for 3 splits now, and this is my first time casting this.
Yeah, you're finally getting to experience it firsthand. It is always hype, though. He's just got this talent for, pulling off ridiculous outplays and survival tactics that you shouldn't really be going for. And, in classic Baus fashion as well, not going a tanky build, immediately opening up on the AP, wanting to have as much wave clear as possible. And that is the definitive Baus style. It's not actually about the outplays. It's about one-shotting waves and then doing something while you don't have to deal with farming. That is effectively Baus's playstyle in its most basic form. And stacking those amp tones, getting the AP on the Cho'Gath early means he can just one-shot the waves and then either look to make a play in the jungle with his team, or kind of the world is his oyster. He can go for tower plating or even tower damage. Like, it just becomes a menace off it.
Yeah, he has a lot he can do with the time every time he farms the wave so quickly with his AoE on his champions. Just looking at mid lane, Painful on the Orianna doesn't have flash, so a little bit concerning if there's ever a play in the enemy jungle. And you can see Velia's taking advantage of that. He's invading, knowing that the Orianna can never really move potentially, but you can see Bulldog, the bot lane is there. If they can snap onto Velia, he might have to ult here.
Yeah, it's going to be Velia escaping. They don't really want to all in, especially with Reckless having ultimate. Actually, Velia and Reckless now synergizing up here. Kasing's also with Artanis. They do put down the pink ward, so they are aware it's happening. Actually, this might just be Kasing's moment to go. Painful's making his way over as well, waiting for an opportunity. Shockwave not going to come down yet from Painful. Just going to have to give up another jungle camp, and Velia slowly but surely will also be building a lead over Artanis, as one level's already been dropped between the pair of them.
Yeah, that's really rough. Losing the respawns off cooldown because you can't play in your own jungle is pretty terrible. And they've tried to threaten the all-in onto Reckless, but Rakan being so slippery, and this is one of the flaws. I feel like usually Rakan is picked into the Alistar as like a soft kind of answer where you can't really pin down the Rakan, and Rakan can just run around the map doing whatever he wants. TP coming through, though. Can they punish Hizero? This TP is very slow.
Yeah, it's too early in the game.
Yep.
Even with the W down, too early in the game. Nemesis, not going to get anything, although Tannis might find him. Nope, W, I believe, spotted him out, so they are aware that Artanis is there.
Yep. Nemesis opening to bot side, taking over the lane, and probably sending up the Cho'Gath to top, so that they can have decent lane assignments with the AD carry in the mid lane, Crowny in the mid lane, as Dragon spawns. And using this, they'll get full pressure down in bot side. I imagine what they can do as well is just take control of the enemy bot side jungle. And because Los Ratones are probably stronger at this point, given the lead they've gotten in the early game, one item on the Zeri is pretty strong and impactful. I would say they're probably going to look to contest this. You can see Reckless on the map, trying to secure vision, using the slipperiness that the Rakan offers to secure vision around on Tribush.
I mean, Los Ratones have already built themselves a 1,500 gold lead over Bulldog, and it's 1 kill apiece. It's 11 minutes in the game. Blackfire Torch, Yontail's finished up, 2 carries of items, but Bulldog, they're going to take this opportunity to jump in. Artanis goes forwards with a monkey spin, trying to get that Cyclone off Velia, able to break away with his ultimate running. Finally is going to wear out. Couple of ultimates burnt there. Artanis goes in for the second Cyclone onto Velia, gets hit by the W. No, he's just about able to escape, but Artanis able to find himself the kill in response. Crowley, though, seeing if an opportunity for a bit more burst damage comes out. Baus eats up on the trap, slow comes down. It is a 5 versus 4 right now in the favor of Bulldog, but the crab was secured there by Los Ratones, so they know what's going on. Reckless jumps in, flashes out, finds a knock onto a couple of players as Nemesis makes his way forward. Scatter the Weak only hits onto one. And this is just Bulldog's Dragon. There's nothing Los Ratones can do but watch.
Yeah, I really don't like it from Los Ratones. Trying to fight after you lose Zeri ulti as well. When it times out, you're really not that much of a champion in the early game, especially. Zeri is super ult dependent, so then having to back off after, kind of conceding. And it looks like Baus TP stopped to try and find something. A cross map on the top lane platings in order to get some gold off of the back of that play, but it's a really nice play from Artanis. I want to highlight Artanis on the Wukong there. Held the R2 for such a long time. And it felt like, to me at least, that the Wukong ultimate, the Cyclone, actually expired, the stack that he had of it to use the second one. But he held it for the longest time that you possibly could. Snapped onto Velia with the R2 and found a pick. It was super nice.
Yeah, really, really clean there from Bulldog. And, you know, a roster that had a pretty decent run last split, actually. They look really good, and they changed a lot up, bringing in a bunch of new players, you know, keeping Kasing, but other than that, massive shuffle round for this roster. And opening up with, you know, being able to find that little team fight, well, more of a skirmish than a team fight, victory over Los Ratones is really nice. And it has now pulled the gold lead back somewhat. I say that, it's actually slightly higher, but it's still a very, very tight game for them. They've got a lot to do if they want to, you know, get control over it. But it's those little plays, it's those little things that can, you know, be the tide changer for you.
Yeah, the gold lead is going to be quite substantial because of the plating diff, as well as the CS lead top lane. It was about 30 last I checked, but now it's closing out a little bit. Baus is kind of just messying right now. Gonna try and take control of the top side right now, but Baus is getting collapsed on by the Alistar. Bear in mind, Kasing has Ignite.
Yeah, I don't really think Baus is going to be able to survive this one. He's full AP, getting a fair amount of damage off of the Kasing. Does get knocked out of the Deadly Flourish, but not under any real threat here. Baus goes for a knock-up onto Dream, and that is going to be the feat of Warfare secured there for the side of Bulldog.
Yeah, it's a great pick onto Baus, disrespecting the potential flank. I mean, it's a creative flank as well by Kasing. Now, Kasing has TP, so if he looks to TP on a flank, potentially...
Oh, Dream! He's hit by the slow, hit by the knock-up, and that should just be Crowny securing the kill. Artanis is trying to make the escape, gets the monkey spin off, gets the second clone down, another spin comes in, they find the knock-up as Artanis is actually able to escape, he survives, he gets the kill, and now Velia has been left on his own. Bulldog start to rip Los Ratones apart. Nemesis with the outplay button secures the kill onto Artanis, but the damage has been done.
Kasing collapses with the Spellbook teleport and finds his way there after Artanis by so much time with the double Cyclone and the clone in general. It's a crazy amount of time that he managed to buy, and honestly, it's such a good look for Artanis on this roster. Rookie coming in has been incredibly impressive in these fights.
He's been, honestly, Artanis has had an amazing, amazing game so far. You know, your opening on the first game of the series is a hard one, but you go toe-to-toe with Los Ratones and you fight them. Not going to be able to find this kill. Painful just trading out, catches the rest of the wave. But
I think, the ulti from the Orianna kind of knocked Nemesis out of the way of the Deadly Flourish, so the snare wasn't there, but just going to this replay real quick. It's a nice engage from Reckless, I believe. Crowning pulls the trigger, Dream gets engaged on, but look how much time Artanis on the Wukong buys. He buys so much time with a double knock and the clone out afterwards, or beforehand rather, and that buys time as well for Kasing to come, who has just TP'd in with Spellbook. His Zero is super fed, easily allowed to scale, and this is exactly what Gwen does, right? Comes to every single team fight after a certain amount of time, and it's just Thanos. This champion is just insane. Refarming into team fights is exactly what she wants to do, and that's what his Zero does.
And now we are starting to see the items, apart from mid lane, start to settle out. You know, Dream's been able to pick up his Ghost Blade, you got the Ludens onto Painful. Everyone is getting their first item. The problem is Nemesis has a Cosmic Drive and a Blackfire Torch.
Yeah, Nemesis is big. So Nemesis is
that
huge.
That is terrifying. A 1,500 gold lead between the two mid laners here. Nemesis starting to be a bit of a menace. 92 stacks as well on the Syndra. It's 120 is the Execute.
He's an entire item up.
It's crazy.
Mid lane counterpart. They must have allocated so much gold through platings onto him as he gets attacked by his Zero.
His Zero is actually doing a fair amount of damage. I think Nemesis might just be giving the shutdown over. His Zero finds the solo kill. 3-1 on the Gwen.
Yeah, you aren't winning in the melee range there. Yeah, you aren't winning in melee range there versus the Gwen. That's rough. I mean, Velia's looking for the collapse. I'm not sure he gets it, but we'll take a look.
It does look like Reckless is making his way over. His hero gets flashed onto, has his own flash, breaks away, wind becomes lightning. Reckless has popped the ultimate. There's the W for a bit of resources. W's not going to make enough as his hero able to escape. Wind become lightning hits, and Velia, he's chasing, he wants the E, but the tower ramp up gets too much. Los Ratones cannot get revenge for their mid laner.
Yeah, they're going to place down the Herald to potentially look for a tier 2 here. I'm not sure they finish it, but maybe they will with Crowny DPSing. Yeah, they've got grubs. It should be all good. In the mid lane, it looks like Bowsy manages to wave clear any kind of cross-map play in the mid. But a bit shaky. Deaths across the board for Los Ratones. A big spike for Syndra, although she does have the scaling win con, is mitigated because of a death versus the face-checking of P0. And Crowny, really going to look for a recall now. After getting all that tier 2 gold, he's going to be huge. That's a completed item for sure in base.
All right, let's have a look at the items as well. Just another quick check-in on this one. Oh no, my God. He went to steal it. He went for the flash. He didn't quite find it.
69
Artanis is losing a lot of HP, though. Baus going low as well. In jumps the monkey spin. Artanis trying to just keep them going. Painful makes his way over, gets the shockwave down onto the 2. Velio will fall as well. Bulldog collapsing in, securing kills left, right, and center as Nemesis is the only one left standing. Snip, snip, and down he falls. Only one for Los Ratones stands. Bulldog. They have teeth!
Yeah, Bulldog really popping off and finding picks across the map here. You can see Crowny as well. Just accepted his fate. He didn't recall. He was still looking for gold to get a recall off and to find enough gold to complete his Phantom Dancer or whatever item he's building next. I'm not sure what happened here. Oh yeah, it starts with Baus trying to steal a dragon, fails that, and then dies. Yeah. And because they have no feast left, they have no gas. And in the end, it's just Baus getting DPS down. Nemesis is going to get caught in a choke point here as well, because he's 0 is flanking, and they're forced to all run away. It's a losing fight for LR.
I mean, LR, they look scattered in this fight. They just were not on the same page, and Bulldog, genuinely surprised, but they have been very put together. This is a team who are running with, you know, a very clear win condition. I say this as Dream needs to be careful. He's just going to get unleashed power and executed there by Nemesis.
That's a pop. Yeah, the execute there at low HP. That's a lot of damage. Dream finds himself falling to Nemesis right there. Atacon is spawning soon. I wonder if there'll be any angle there. I say that. LR.
Oh,
pick up the Painful.
You're going down. Crowny's able to get the kill. That's his second of the game. It is a bit of a bloodbath, and the gold lead at one point did swing a lot further away from Bulldog, but Los Ratones, all of this tower taking they've done hasn't really accrued into too much of a significant lead where they can steamroll this game, because Bulldog willing to go toe-to-toe with them. Reckless gets head butted away, doesn't get pulverized as in comes Baus, misses the knock-up. They do get the damage on Kasing. I think he might be in danger, though. Tannis tries to jump in, gets scattered back for a second here. The slows are starting to be a bit too much as Baus is able to find the kill. The monkey spin is going to knock them up, but it's not going to do enough. The needlework is pretty huge, though. Massive stun onto his hero as he's just breaking away. Still has a couple of needles to go. It's just going to buy himself space as Crowny can jump the wall. Wind become lightning will not make the connection. His hero able to jump away. That could just be the Akshan over to the side of Los Ratones. It's not Akshan, that's a champion. Atakan.
I wasn't going to say anything, but that's so funny. It's the Akshan to Los Ratones.
I mean, it's different.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He's a bit, yeah.
He used to have a revive, to be fair.
He has a boomerang. He doesn't have that anymore. But, no, I mean, it's a bit of a tragedy, isn't it, for Bulldog? I mean, they were in such a good winning position. We were praising them, and then Painful gets picked. It was a pick down in bot side. Then Painful got picked, and then there was a team fight up top side. Kasing gets collapsed on and feasted on. I don't know what happened, but they fell apart so hard in the last 3 minutes to the point where it just looks terrible for them now.
Yeah, I can't really put my finger on what's been going on here, but I think maybe it's a mixture of maybe a bit of confidence or even a lack of confidence as well, where they got maybe a little carried away, like, oh my God, we're doing it. We're actually, you know, fighting Los Ratones and coming out on top in some of these fights, and then you get a little over eager and
I think
make a mistake.
The Nemesis Syndra's doing a lot of work finding picks, and the damage he's had with his ultimate, given that he scaled a lot with his stacks, has been great on the picks that they found.
Yeah.
And it really is, it feels like Bulldog just mispositioning in the mid game, getting caught out, disrespecting potential of the picks from Los Ratones, and throwing their lead, really unfortunately. Crowny gonna avoid the Deadly Flourish just fine as Los Ratones tried to take control of topside, but Kasing might have something to say about it.
Yeah, I think it's going to kind of gatekeep this part of the jungle, but is slowly going to get forced out as the wards are cleared and the vision gets shallower for the side of Bulldogs. For Bulldog, although they have a lot of wards on the blue side of Los Ratones, so I don't really know what they were planning on warding up for there, because Baron's not up for a little bit. Dragon coming up in 30 seconds, though, and the vision in the area is way more in control of Los Ratones. Like, Bulldog unable to really step beyond their tier 1 towers safely right now. You can see they're playing very shallow into this jungle, going to clear out some of these wards. Zero does get hit by the E there from Velia, gets jumped onto.
Ooh,
just
Velia?
go for a little bit of a trade. I think Velia maybe being a little bit too overeager. They have to be careful, though. Nemesis Scatter the Weak has been the biggest decider for them in these. That's it being used, so that's a good opportunity to jump in. They find the headbutt pulver onto Reckless. Reckless throws down the quickness, but he is going low. Another slam in onto him. Knock up hits onto a couple of people as Artanis has to flash out. Dream trying to find some openings for some damage. Kusing finds some knock up, but Baus is just going to gobble him whole as people are dropping left, right, and center. A double kill for his Zero, but he's taken out in response. It's a 2 for 2, but Crowny will turn it around with a triple. He's now chasing on for another Dream, being run down here as Crowny will go for the quadra. The knock-up comes in. Los Ratones get Crowny the quad.
A quadra kill for Crowny is crazy in the first game back. I mean, honestly, that entire play starts off with Reckless looking super juicy, so Bulldog tried to pounce on him, but the slipperiness of the Rakan, he ulties and just gets out with the W of the wall, or the E rather. Take a look at this. Reckless, he looks super good here. They're trying to make a pick, but he lives through all the burst, dashes over the wall, and now the whole of Bulldog are funneled into this choke and takes so much AoE damage. It looks like for a second as well, Zero might just clean up the fight. He snips Nemesis down, completely one-shots him, but it isn't enough. Crowny's completely unleashed. All the cooldowns are used, and Bulldog, they can't peel him anymore.
That is an absolutely crazy fight. I really felt like Bulldog had an opening in there, but the problem is you're looking at Dream, who is rocking a rapid fire cannon and the Ghost Blade versus, you know, you got the Hurricane, you got the Yontal onto Crowny. He's just hitting everybody. It's really, really hard to deal with them. And now Reckless upgrading those Merc Treads. I know you're a bit of a Merc Tread salesman. I'm sure we'll talk about that later today.
Yeah, I am definitely a Merc Tread salesman. They are pretty OP, the tier 3 ones.
He's going to be so hard to one-shot. I mean, you've got Painful and his Zero now have a little bit of extra magic shield to get through before they can find the kill onto him. He's got the Locket shield as well. He is going to be very hard to kill considering how slippery the Rakan is.
Yeah, exactly. Rakan, general super slippery. Combine that with Merc Treads, and there aren't that many answers in the game for him. Bausey, I don't think wins in the 1v1 at the moment. The snips can do a lot of damage here. I mean, I'd be a little bit concerned, although I might just be wrong.
Well, I think Zero actually takes too many tower shots here. He's going low. No. The knockup goes wide. It's Zero. The minion is going to finish him off. He's just healing up. Teleport's coming in. I don't think Zero survives this. Baus goes for his own flank teleport. Zero dashes the wall. Rupture goes wide.
Oh, no, Crowny's coming.
Crowny's coming in. I don't think Zero is going to go for long. Does able to dodge away from the W there. Oh, my word. I think Zero fumbled that a little hard, if I'm honest with you.
Have you seen Six-Pack on Reels? It felt like one of those clips. If you know, you know.
I don't know, but Velia, he's found himself in a bit of danger here. The curtain has been called, and he has gone super low. 2 quick kills for Bulldog. No teleport for Baus either. He used it earlier. This could be a very quick Baron. You've got the Gwen. You've got the damage.
Oh, no,
but Kasing, he just eats Nemesis ultimate. Able to survive it. Painful. Big Shockwave could be a massive game changer here, although it's on cooldown, so he can't do that. Baron going low. No jungler available. Baus has the feast, so they have to turn around. They find the route onto him. Zero's just going to put the damage into Baus. Baus starting to lose a little bit too much HP here. Finds the Rupture onto Painful. Painful, no flash. He gets caught by the knockup. He's going to have to sacrifice himself. Baron is secured. Kasing will go down as well. An honorable sacrifice for the 2 players there to make sure the rest of the team get Baron and get out.
Yeah, 2 sacrifices for an Ashe is a trade I'd take every single day. It's a great pick, honestly. Onto Velia on the face check in the bush next to Baron. And punishing the over-aggression of Velia.
Yeah.
I mean, they just have to clear these waves, and then they can potentially siege and take the low HP tier 1s in top and mid.
Yeah, I honestly, Velia's kind of been a bit of a problem here for Los Ratones in this first game back. 0, 5, and 7. Not having a particularly great performance. He's constantly getting caught out. Speaking of which,
no W.
0, you are gone. There is no way you're going to survive that one.
Yeah, disrespectful pathing through the jungle, but excellent play by LR, walking straight through the jungle to walk into that bush and wait.
That's crucial.
No W there on the Gwen. Yeah, no W on the Gwen, so he just eats the full combo. It's just too much damage.
And that's 2 players now with the Baron instead of 3. 0 kind of threw that one out the window a little bit. So
and the problem is also the death timer now. It's staggered the spawns, and you won't really get a siege as much. So really, really rough there. But they still should have time to be able to take top and mid.
You'd really hope, but they're playing very passively off it. Dream's now finished up the Infinity Edge, so he's 3 items in, but I think Crownie's about to finish his Lord Doms. Might have to hold that thought, though, because Reckless does get himself momentarily caught out. Stops Crownie's reset, but that's going to be all she wrote. This Baron is not done anything, actually. It's a very stall Baron here. They've not done anything at all. Yeah,
they've got to wait for his Zero. His Zero also doesn't have TP, so he's running top as soon as he can. I think Baus, the ideal scenario for Bulldog here with this Nash is that Baus overextends and they find a pick, and then they can use it to siege and maybe take a tier 1, but that's the best case.
Artanis, sorry. Artorias is an old top laner.
Yeah, that was one of the top laners I played against.
Yeah, I just saw ART and just my head went to there. Old school player from the scene.
Yeah, I think
was seen. Or is that a bug? Oh, it's a bug.
Oh, it's a visual bug.
He's
You're
got
right.
the
He's
eyes above his head. Yeah, he's not
him.
been seen. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the Nash is going to be used for absolutely nothing, and they're just going to move in to take Dragon and try to get to Soul Point here if you're side of Bulldog, but that's going to be really, really rough. Their vision's going to be swept away now by Reckless as he's accompanied by the rest of the Los Ratones into the bot side jungle, and this is going to make it really hard for anyone to face check. Now you've got to face check with Kasing and his ultimate and pray that you don't get absolutely one-shot as you attempt to.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed in Bulldog here. I think they've done a fantastic job of kind of breaking the expectations of this game, but they get the Baron and they don't do anything with it.
The early was good. They got the Nash, but then it just felt like the step after wasn't there. Like they couldn't continue afterwards, and they just fell apart. But it's a good thing. It's a good start. It's a good thing to see for a new team as you've got a face check now. Kasing pulls the trigger.
Well, he gets caught, dodges around the deadly flourish. Faust finds painful, just jumps in forwards. Knockup doesn't do enough. Sing's able to jump away with the curtain call, doesn't really get too much damage off as his Zero is one shot by the Chomp. And again, no Gwen. Bulldog just have to back off. They may just try and cross map for the top lane tower. This is only Dragon number 3 for Los Ratones, so it's not Soul.
Yeah, you can't drain tank as a Gwen if you get chomped, I fear. That is what happened when Baus pressed R on him. Nemesis is going to throw away the red buff. That's a global red. That really matters.
Oh, was that a shockwave? No, it wasn't. It just... Painful did shockwave, just completely whiffed it. Artanis is forced to use the Cyclone just to try and escape, but they have the slows, they have the lockdowns. He's able to get the second Cyclone off, throw a clone down. Dream's going to get jumped onto by Crownie as he just flashes away underneath the tower. Baus has a nobble. On to Kasing, feasts him up, finishes him down. Tower will fall next. Inhibitor will be next to follow. And honestly, it felt like there was a bit of a fight left in here, Bulldog, but they just folded.
Yeah.
Once Los Ratones got a control of this game, they just made sure that it is over for them. Hezero has to make the hero play happen. There's no feast onto Baus as he is eaten, and maybe a bit of damage can come through, but Dream is popped, and that is going to be the end of the game. Knock up onto the monkey. Not much they can do about this one. He's scattered. He's finished up with the unleashed power. Los Ratones will take the first game of the split.
Yeah, a shaky game, but honestly, ultimately, it was Los Ratones abusing their pick potential and finding really good picks in the mid game. I think this shouldn't be anything here, Crownie. I believe LR are just playing with their food. Oh, the sombrero!
His sombrero is painful into the 3-man pole. It's not going to be enough. They find the knock-up, they find the kill, they find the Nexus. 31 minutes on the clock. That was a good game. That was a really good game.